Globalization is reshaping our lives and leading us into uncharted territory. As new technology is driving down the costs of global communication and travel, we are increasingly exposed to the traits and practices of other cultures. As countries reduce barriers to trade and investment, globalization forces their industries to grow more competitive if they are to survive. And as multinationals from different countries and emerging markets seek out customers, competition intensifies on a global scale, and these new realities of international business are altering our cultures and transforming the way companies do business. Globalization has become our new reality as economies are coming closer together, but what exactly is globalization? It is the world process of integrating economic, financial, trade, culture, and communications together. The globalization of markets is the gradual integration and growing interdependence of national economies. Technology has had the greatest impact in the advancement of globalization. Implementing technology tools to promote globalization has been a major factor in why globalization has been so successful. The mediums which we can now communicate through without being in the same place has allowed for more overseas business than we have ever seen in the past. With programs like Skype, iMessaging, FaceTime, and even social media outlets like Facebook and Twitter, we have never been more technologically connected than now. As we are able to communicate instantly and conduct meetings in real time globally, it has made it easier for companies and businesses to embrace and adapt globalization. The effects of globalization reach far beyond just the international business world. Globalization affects the environment in terms of how resources are used, has a major impact on cultures. With the workforce becoming more diverse and companies hiring workers from different cultures, it forces businesses to reject stagnant stereotypes and generalizations. It also has a major effect on political systems that each country is using. A lot of emphasis is put on the economic development as the world becomes a global economy, and it also affects prosperity and human and physical well-being in certain parts of the world. There are pros and cons to globalization. Some of the pros are that there is an increase in productivity as most companies have a 24-hour workforce due to outsourcing. There are lower prices as competition increases, which decreases inflation. It increases the global economy. It improves innovation, and this goes back to having more competition as it forces the United States and other countries to be at the forefront of innovation and drives greater product differentiation and creativity. Globalization also forces a more tolerant social culture as it integrates people from various cultures into the workforce. As positive as globalization has been for many Americans, it has been accompanied with many fears, especially in terms of job security. Jobs are vulnerable to being outsourced as the cost of the workforce is much cheaper overseas. There's also the threat of pay cuts for domestic jobs to be competitive with foreign labor. The negative aspect of globalization has placed a spotlight on the exploitation of foreign labor, which includes poor working conditions for employees, which we've heard about in cases with Apple and Nike on the treatment of their foreign employees. There have been more cases in child labor and slave labor as well. There's also a risk of American innovations being stolen as they move manufacturing to China and India. Many argue that it perpetuates the increase in the disparity of wealth.